You break out of the egg somewhere in the sub-Antarctic. Your father shifts above you and you nearly slide off his feet onto the frozen ground below, but you dig your tiny claws into his skin and hold on. He hasn't eaten in weeks, and his body sways slightly as he adjusts his weight. You're wet, and your down sticks flat against your skin, so you push yourself deeper between his feet and the warm fold of skin hanging over you. That's when another chick nearby slips from its parent's pouch and lands hard on the ice. It tries to crawl back up, but can't reach, so it just lies there crying with its beak opening and closing. Your father takes a step forward to get closer to the other adults, and you scramble to stay balanced, your legs shaking under your own weight for the first time. Around you, thousands of other fathers stand with chicks tucked onto their feet, all of them packed together in tight rows. The wind picks up and blows snow across the colony, so your father hunches lower and you tuck your head under his belly flap. You're hungry now and your stomach feels empty, so you push your beak up and open your mouth wide. Your father leans down and regurgitates a small amount of thick fish oil directly into your throat. It's warm and fills your mouth completely, so you swallow fast and immediately beg for more. But he doesn't give you anything else and just straightens back up, staring out at the colony. That's your first meal, and it has to last until your mother comes back. A skua flies overhead in wide circles, watching the ground below for unguarded chicks. The exposed chick that fell earlier stops moving and goes still on the ice. Your father doesn't look at it, and neither do the others. You're 3 weeks old now. Your down has grown thicker and covers your entire body in brown fluff, making you look twice as large as you actually are. Your mother returned from the ocean days ago, and she's been feeding you ever since while your father left to hunt. She stands over you and leans down, then regurgitates partially digested fish directly into your open mouth. You swallow as fast as you can and beg for more by tapping her beak with yours, so she gives you another mouthful before straightening back up. You're heavier now, and your legs are stronger, so you can stand on your own without wobbling as much. A skua lands a few meters away and walks through the colony with its head turning side to side, scanning for chicks that have wandered too far from their parents. Your mother takes a step closer to another adult nearby, using the group for protection. That's when another chick breaks away from its parent and waddles toward a piece of dropped fish lying on the ground. The skua sees it immediately and lifts into the air, then drops fast with its talons reaching forward. It grabs the chick by the back and lifts it off the ground in one motion. The chick screams and kicks its legs but can't break free, so the skua carries it away over the heads of the other penguins. Your mother shifts her body and pushes you behind her feet with her beak, blocking you from view. You stay there and don't move until the skua is gone. A few days later, your mother calls out once and then walks away toward the ocean, leaving you standing alone. Your father appears hours later from the opposite direction and takes his place next to you, so you move closer to his feet and wait for food. Soon you'll be too big for either of them to carry on their feet. And when that happens, you'll have to survive without them watching over you every moment. Skip forward and you're 2 months old now. You're too heavy to fit on your parents' feet anymore, so they leave you standing on the ground with dozens of other chicks while they both go to the ocean to hunt. You need warmth and protection, so you waddle toward the nearest group of chicks and push yourself between two of them. They press back against you, and the group forms a tight circle with everyone facing inward, using each other's bodies as shelter. That's called a creche, and it's where you'll spend most of your time now. A leopard seal surfaces near the beach, where the adults walk in and out of the water. You watch from a distance as a group of penguins stops at the edge looking down at the waves. One of them dives in, and the seal lunges forward with its mouth opening wide, but the penguin turns sharply underwater and shoots past it toward deeper water. The seal doesn't chase and just floats back to the surface, waiting for the next one. Hours later, your parents return and walk into the colony calling out in a pattern you recognize. You need food badly, so you push through the creche and call back to them with your beak pointed up. Other chicks rush toward your parents too with their mouths open, begging to be fed. But your mother ignores them and walks straight to you, then leans down and regurgitates a stream of fish into your throat. You swallow as much as you can before she stops. Then she straightens back up and walks away toward the ocean again without looking back. Your father follows her, and they both disappear into the crowd of adults heading to the water. You waddle back to the creche and squeeze between the same two chicks from before, then settle down with your beak tucked against your chest. Your brown down will start falling out soon, and when it does, you'll leave the colony for the first time and enter the ocean yourself. You're 5 months old now. Your brown down has fallen away completely and been replaced by sleek black and white feathers that don't soak up water like the fluff did. Your parents stopped coming back weeks ago, so you haven't eaten anything since then, and your body has gotten thinner. You need food badly, so you leave the colony and walk toward the beach with a group of other juveniles who look just like you. When you reach the edge, waves crash against the rocks and spray water up onto the shore. The ocean stretches out farther than you can see and you've never been in it before, but staying on land means starving. Another juvenile jumps in first and disappears under the surface, so you step forward and drop into the water. It rushes over your head and pushes you sideways, but your feathers stay completely dry underneath and keep your skin protected. You kick your legs and flap your flippers, trying to figure out how to move forward instead of just floating. Then you tilt your body down and kick harder, so you dive under the surface for the first time. A school of small fish swims past just below you and you chase after them on instinct, snapping your beak at the closest one. You catch it and swallow it whole without stopping. That's your first meal you've ever caught yourself. You come back up to breathe, then dive again and chase another fish. That's when something large moves beneath you in the deeper water. You stop swimming and look down, trying to see what it is. A fur seal rises up fast with its mouth opening wide, aiming straight for you. You kick as hard as you can toward the surface and burst into the air, then the seal's jaws snap shut right where you just were. You swim toward the shallow water near the rocks where the seal can't follow as easily, and it turns away to hunt something else instead. You'll spend months out here learning to hunt, but you'll also need to keep watching the water below you because something is always looking up. Skip forward a bit and you're 2 years old now. You're hunting far from shore in deeper water where the ocean floor drops away beneath you. Your body is stronger than it was when you first left the colony, so you can dive much deeper and hold your breath longer. You spot a squid drifting in the water below you and dive fast, chasing it down as it jets away in the opposite direction. You catch up and grab it with your beak, then rise back to the surface to swallow it properly. While you're eating, an orca fin cuts through the water about 50 meters away, moving slowly in your direction. You need to get away from it, so you dive immediately and swim toward a group of other penguins nearby. The group notices the orca too, and stays together in a tight formation, changing direction every few seconds to make it harder to track any single penguin. The orca comes closer, and the group spreads out slightly, but one penguin separates too far and ends up swimming alone. The orca turns toward it and speeds up, closing the distance in seconds. The penguin tries to dive deeper, but the orca is much faster and catches it in one bite. The rest of the group, including you, swims in the opposite direction while the orca stays behind to eat. You surface far away from where the orca was and float there for a moment with your head turning side to side, checking the water around you. Other penguins start diving again after a few minutes, hunting as if nothing happened. You're hungry again despite the squid you ate earlier, so you dive too and scan the water below for movement. A school of fish passes underneath and you chase after them, snapping at the closest one until you catch it. You've survived this long by staying with groups and knowing when to run, but eventually you'll need to go back to land for a different reason. You're 6 years old now. Something drives you back to the beach where you were born, so you swim toward the land and climb out onto the rocks with hundreds of other penguins doing the same thing. You walk inland toward the colony, and it's packed with thousands of adults calling out and displaying to each other. You need to find a spot to claim as yours, so you walk through the crowd looking for empty ground. When you find a small space between two pairs, you stop there and stand as tall as you can with your chest pushed forward. Another male walks toward your spot and stops right in front of you. He stands tall too, and you both face each other, trying to look bigger than you actually are. Neither of you moves away, so he steps closer and you step closer too until your beaks almost touch. Then you lunge forward and bite at his neck, and he bites back at yours. You both grapple with your flippers slapping against each other's bodies, pushing and pulling to knock the other one off balance. He shoves hard, and you stumble backward but catch yourself before falling. You charge at him again and slam your chest into his, making him step back this time. He turns and walks away, so you call out after him to make sure he knows you won. A female walks past, moving slowly through the colony and looking at different males. You need her to notice you, so you bow your head and call to her with your beak pointed up. She stops and looks at you for a few seconds, then keeps walking toward another male farther down. You stay in your spot and call out again every few minutes, hoping to attract a different female. Hours pass and most of the pairs around you have already formed, but you're still standing alone. Your first breeding season didn't work out, but you'll come back next year and try again with more experience. Skip forward, and you're 8 years old now. You return to the colony and claim the same spot you fought for 2 years ago, standing tall and calling out to attract a mate. A female walks toward you and stops when she reaches your space, so you bow your head and she bows back. You both stand up straight and mirror each other's movements, calling in rhythm together. That's how pairs form, and she's accepted you. A few days later, she lays a single egg and places it carefully on top of her feet, then covers it with the fold of skin on her belly to keep it protected. You need to take your turn guarding it, so she transfers the egg to your feet by rolling it gently from hers to yours. You feel the weight settle onto your skin and immediately cover it with your brood pouch. Then she walks away toward the ocean to hunt. You stand completely still with the egg balanced on your feet, not moving even when other penguins walk past you. Weeks go by and you don't eat anything during this time, so your body gets thinner and weaker. A giant petrel lands near the colony and walks between the adults with its head turning side to side, looking for eggs that have been dropped or left unguarded. It comes close to you and you hunch lower over your egg, tucking it deeper under your belly. The petrel stops a few meters away and stares at you, but you don't move. Then it turns and walks toward another penguin, who has their egg sitting exposed on the ground beside them instead of on their feet. The petrel grabs the egg in its beak and flies away with it. Your mate returns hours later and calls out to you, so you carefully transfer the egg back to her feet and leave immediately for the ocean. You're starving and need to hunt as much as possible before it's your turn to guard again. The egg will hatch soon, and when it does, you'll spend months feeding the chick until it can survive on its own. You're 12 years old now. You're hunting deep underwater, chasing a school of lanternfish that keeps moving lower into darker water. Your lungs start to burn, but you're close to catching one, so you push deeper and snap your beak forward. You catch a fish and swallow it quickly, then turn around to swim back up to the surface. That's when a leopard seal comes up from below you with its mouth already open wide, moving faster than you've ever seen anything move. You kick as hard as you can toward the surface, but it's closing the distance too quickly, so you twist sideways trying to change direction. But the seal adjusts instantly, and its jaws close around your body, teeth punching through your side and crushing your ribs. You thrash with your flippers and try to pull free, but its grip only gets tighter. Then the seal shakes you violently from side to side, snapping your spine and tearing through your organs. Your vision goes blurry, and your flippers stop moving on their own. The seal drags you deeper into the water, away from the surface where you needed to breathe. Your body goes completely limp in its mouth. Then the seal bites down harder and tears you apart, ripping chunks of flesh away and swallowing them. What's left of your body drifts down slowly through the water, sinking deeper and deeper until you disappear into the black where the surface is just a memory above you. The seal stays behind to finish eating while pieces of you scatter in the current and drift away in different directions.